Hello and welcome everyone to the Women Thrive Summit speaker interview series. My name is Ramonda Jan and I'll be your host. Today we're talking about rebranding your life, and that's the great standard. So I'm really excited for all of you to be part of this conversation as we're leading up to the Women Thrive Summit, and for you to meet our speakers who have powerful messages, powerful stories to share with you, as well as their wisdom, the wisdom that they accumulated through life experiences. Now, today, my guest speaker is Shreya. Hi, Shreya. How are you?
Hi, Ray. Hi, everyone. Whether it's morning, noon, or evening, thank you for joining us.
Where are you joining us from today?
I'm in Nairobi, and we are just coming off the back of a very hot season. So the rains are really upon us, and we're really loving the cooler weather right now.
Oh, it's a place I definitely have on my vision board to go and visit. It looks
Come
absolutely
visit
amazing.
now. You have a reason to come and see me.
Definitely. What a beautiful city. What's Nairobi like?
It's vibrant, it's bustling, it's filled with a sense of energy because we are a young nation and there's just a step in the flow. Everyone's excited, but we're also pretty big. So you see lots of highways and high-rise buildings, but in and amongst those, we are the city that has the only live national park in its midst. So you could go from the airport and straight to doing a safari to see giraffes and antelope, and it's quite magical. It makes it a truly special city.
Yeah, no, what I've seen is it's just such a beautiful place to be, and also very vibrant. A lot of people moving there, a lot of opportunities happening. It's really like a hub of Africa, really, at the moment.
Absolutely, because initially we were the center for the UN regionally, and then a lot of embassies and commercial hubs based themselves here. We have been growing exponentially. And post COVID, a lot of people moved here to work remotely because they like the quality of the life. They like the fact that there is great weather, that we're so diverse, we're multicultural, and that you're an easy hop to whether to Europe or Asia. It's effortless travel. So all the great reasons to come and move to Kenya.
I love it. I love it. Definitely on my vision board to visit. Shreya, would you introduce yourself to our audience so they get to know who you are?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Shreya and I'm a brand strategist by profession, but also a business founder and a coach. Born in the wonderful city of Nairobi, but raised in London and Sydney. And I spent a lot of my youth trying to mold myself to the systems that the world is designed for, the old boys club. And deep down, I always knew that, does it have to be this way? And that was sort of the catalyst that drove me to start my own brand studio that is now award winning and really champion women and women finding their own skin. But that really, as often life is the case, isn't always the full story. We are so conditioned to live in a world where you are just go, go, go. And the quest for perfection as a female trying to make it and get ahead is even higher, right? So you kind of push yourself in that space and you try to make yourself twice as perfect as everybody else, switched on more than anyone else, have it together, always on, but it comes at a cost. And for so many of us who are listening to this, you are probably nodding your head saying, yeah, I resonate with that, because it comes at a cost, whether it's physical, emotional, or losing your own self-identity. And that's really where I found myself for most of last year. And it took a toll on me physically. And now I look at how can I take everything that I know about branding to rebrand my life in a graceful way, in a meaningful way. And I want to share that with other women.
Mm. What does branding mean to you? Because I know you have slightly different view of what branding is and how it could be successful for women.
So if you look at companies, I really care about the idea that a brand is so much more than selling you something. It stands for something. It has values. It has principles. It makes you feel a part of something, like you belong. And it solves a problem for you. So then when I started to think about us as women, I really wanted to think about the idea of what values do I hold as a person? And that sounds very easy to ask, but when have we ever stopped to ask ourselves, what values do we hold? And then the idea of what promise do I keep to myself, the person that I'm supposed to honor and serve above and beyond anything else? Again, a question we've never asked ourselves. And then the idea of how do I consistently show up rooted in my own purpose? And so the two felt very natural when I started to ask those questions, but the hard work was trying to find the answers.
Yeah, it's like you have to go through a bit of a discovery journey and really
Absolutely.
aligning it, because if you don't, like, if you go on a journey and you don't have a roadmap, you could just end up anywhere. But when you become strategic, let's say from get-go, what do I stand for, who I am, what are my values, what do I want to embrace and champion for, it then kind of creates a bit parameters for where you headed, especially with a business or your personal brand.
It's so, so true. We blindly sort of throw spaghetti at the wall, right? Hoping that it sticks. But that's not really a recipe for success. And we get so afraid to make plans for the journey that we see in our life. But the thing I always say to people is if you take the wrong turn, your GPS doesn't yell at you, right? It just says one thing, rerouting. And I think we need to look at our lives in that way, that we are constantly rerouting. But in order to reroute or redirect, you need to know, where do you want to go? And when we start to look at that question, I think it can produce some really beautiful answers instead of being fearful. It can give you a sense of direction. I like to call it your North Star. That little guiding arch, no matter how dark the days may seem, how much energy you have in your life, that little arch that's just telling you, let's keep going. You're going this way. You know where to go.
Yeah, it's so, so powerful. Honestly, what I found in my business personally, that has really helped us shape the authenticity, the fabric of who we are, but also attract the right people. Like for me, let's say diversity has always been a big part of what I do. And it seems like, I didn't have to shout about it, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have to be loud, like this is what our makeup is. No, it was kind of presented in such a subtle ways that it time and time again attracted naturally very diverse community of women, different ages, different backgrounds, ethnicities. And it's like, wow, like if you are really intentional, you don't actually have to shout this is what it is. It can be really subtle, but it's a big part of your brand and your values if you intentional about it.
Completely. How do people know what you stand for if you don't know how to advocate for it, whether that's for your brand or you as a person? And what becomes really clear is that once you know what you stand for, the right people automatically attract to you. It's like fireflies, right? They attract to that warm glow. And your tribe will just gravitate towards you in your business. The leads you're looking for, they'll flow your way. The people that you're looking to bring into your team will step up to the plate and say, yes, please, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And in your personal life, you just the universe will give you more and more of the things that you are searching for and the like-minded people. But you have to be able to be clear about it, and you have to be able to advocate for it. You don't need to scream it from the rooftops, and you don't need to be brash, but you need to know what you stand for.
Yeah. Who do you like working with particularly? Is there particular businesses or women at particular stages that you really enjoy working with?
So very early on in my business, I got very clear that we will say no more often than we will say yes. And the reason for that is when you start to take projects that you don't believe in, the caliber of your work doesn't particularly feel inspiring. But then you fill the deck with things that don't feel right, and there's no room for the great projects. So our rule and I've always encouraged my team, is let's always only take projects on if we can get really excited about it and we can get really jazzed by it. So we tend to work across the board in the premium segment. So we're a lot more niche, and we'll work across real estate, retail, high-end luxury goods, private banking, you name it, but it has to be exciting and challenging. And it also has to feel a little scary to us in that, oh, this seems like a step up. Do you think we can handle it? Because when you feel a little scared by something, what happens is you're going to put your best foot forward and you're just going to challenge yourself. And I really like the idea that as soon as you get comfortable, that's an invitation to go and step outside and, do something that's going to bounce you to the next level up.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, you are going to be speaking at the Women Thrive Summit in March, which we're already in March, but only 2 weeks away. Tell us a little bit more about what can women expect during your talk.
This is actually going to be my very first solo speech, sort of 40 minutes long. So I'm very excited about it. And it's been a long time coming, this journey. And I took everything that I knew about branding and turned it inward, where I really realized, like I said, that last year I felt that life decided to hand me a different lens. I had the intentions of continuing to outperform and drive perfection even more until my body handed me the ultimate rebellion and said, this is just not how life works. And what I realized was that I didn't know how to navigate a new normal, but I knew how to brand with my eyes closed. So I took the one thing I knew how to do, which is branding, and look at, well, how can I rebrand my life? How can I step into being the hero of my own story and build a life that feels intentional, quietly determined, and really sincere? And this is what I want to share at the summit. 3 key principles from how to rebrand your life. And this is not another rule book for women. And it's not something to tell you how to go and live your life, but it's the opportunity to ask yourself some really intentional, quiet questions like we touched on earlier. We rarely ask ourselves, what does our brand stand for? What's the promise we make to ourselves? How do we stay on that journey even when the GPS keeps rerouting? And this is what I strive to do, to give women some real practical exercises that they can do, show them through my personal lens, and offer them a chance to say, yeah, I'd really like to stay quietly rooted in my own self.
Yeah, I think it's such an amazing and empowering feeling when you know your direction and you don't need to necessarily get distracted more often than not, right? So when you know it's like, okay, this is my direction, if I just stay focused and go through the notions of like, okay, this is my journey, I find that you can become more successful, and it really begins there, like building the fundamentals. If you have the fundamentals, the plan, the route, you know your destination, eventually you will get there, but it's just being willing to go there and kind of avoid distractions, because there's always side roads, there's always like opportunities to get distracted. And I find like when I'm like that, focus on my goal and vision, I mean, it's inevitable, you'll get there.
It has to be, right? Because if you put the effort in, the law of the universe and science tells you, you will get out what you put in. So there is absolutely no such a thing as fail, and there is no such a thing as I will not get to where I want to go. And that's why I really landed on this idea of grace and, rebranding your life with grace, because it is exactly this idea that you talk about, that that if you just stay true, you will get there. And for me, I really had to delve deep into what did grace look like for me, what did it mean to me. And I landed on this idea that it was so much more than just being kind to myself, but it was devotion to where I wanted to go and the values that I hold and the reason that I exist as just me. And then really backing myself, no matter how many knocks I was going to take or how many side roads I went down, and just hold true and steadfast in that belief on that journey.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's powerful. That self-belief, I think it's, again, like one of the fundamentals, really. you hold that and you hold that strongly, again, you'll get there. And sometimes, as you've spoken about, you face challenges, you've hit setbacks, but if you know that true north, which you talked about, you'll get there, or you will come back to it, and that's going to be your guiding road to, like, okay, this is where I'm headed, this is what I can do no matter what.
It is our, I think, superpower to really go inward and build from self-esteem and build from that inner voice that's taking you somewhere, because it will never betray you. It will never let you down. It will never tell you something that's not in your best interests. And I really lean on something that Abigail said last week on a call that we were all on. And she said, the age of the guru is over. We have to learn and lean on ourselves as our best guru. And this is the absolute truth, right? That you are your best compass, you are your best cheerleader, and you are your best advocate above and beyond anybody else.
That's powerful. Shreya, we are just gearing up for the Women Thrive Summit, and I'm excited to have your talk. I think this is going to be one of the powerful talks where women will get so much out of it, like aha moments, opportunity to reroute, opportunity to ask themselves some really powerful questions. So if I want to say to our audience that if you haven't saved your spot for the Women Thrive Summit, it's happening 16th to the 20th of March, and this is your opportunity to go ahead and save your spot, because this is our annual event. So it happens once a year, every third week of March, and it brings together more than 50 amazing speakers from all around the world with different experiences, stories, and various expertise to share with you. So you can take this time to really, whether you're looking at rebranding, whether you're looking to create something new, step into your power, do public speaking, look at your maybe human design or anything else. We have speakers who are going to cover a wide array of topics for you to really indulge in, and also to connect with other women. This is a live event, which means you get to participate live, but virtually from anywhere in the world, and it's free to attend. So why not? So head over to womenthrivesummit.com, register for your free spot. And Shreya, which day are you speaking on?
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm speaking on Wednesday, the 18th, and I'm in fact speaking at this exact time. So what a wonderful time and opportunity. But ladies, I have to say, please do sign up, because I've seen the cohort of women that are speaking, and they will absolutely blow your mind. There are women, like Ray said, diverse, of all age groups, of all backgrounds, of all experiences, and the talks are so deeply personal, so intentional, and yet they are rooted in wanting to share with all of us something that we can apply to our lives. So please, I've already booked in the slots that I want to listen to and participate in. Don't miss out on this opportunity.
Yeah. And just share with our audience, where do people connect with you? Where do you like to be most active?
So if you're a LinkedIn fan, then you'll find me on LinkedIn as Shreya Karia, or on Instagram at Shreya Karia. Connect with me, DM me, tell me your story. I'd love to hear. And of course, if you're joining my conversation at Women Thrive, there'll be some really special freebies that you will be able to access, and also the opportunity to go one-to-one with me to build your own personal brand.
That is just amazing. And I know our speakers have prepared some wonderful gifts for our attendees. There's some free gifts and also opportunity to upgrade to get access to even more bonuses that our speakers have prepared. Now, again, if you haven't saved your spot, make sure you do so. And Shreya is here, and as well as other speakers. So if you feel inspired by this conversation, make sure you drop into her DM, find out a little bit more about the work that she's doing. And just sometimes it's just one conversation. Sometimes that one conversation could lead you on a completely new trajectory. So I really, really welcome you to Reach out to the speakers who we spotlighted that you feel really connected with. You can resonate with their story and their message. And maybe this is a good time for you to start that conversation to change. Maybe it's a new branding, maybe it's a new business, or rebranding yourself as a personal brand. This is such a great opportunity to do that right now. So don't waste a minute and make sure you register for the summit and connect to our speakers. As well, if you enjoyed today's conversation, share it to your social media followers because I think somebody out there needs to hear this message. Shreya, any last parting thoughts before we close out for today's conversation?
Yeah, if you've ever thought, is this really meant for me? Or if you've ever thought, I know I'm destined for more, then this is your sign. Women Thrive Summit happening in 2 weeks is your sign to dial in, tune in, connect with people who have been through that and have taken their lives just the next step, because the experience is there for you, the opportunity is there, and the invitation to do the same is there for you. So please don't miss out and join us.
Yeah, it's so powerful. I can't wait because in the moments like that and like rooms like this is going to be truly transformational because you're not alone and you're surrounded by other women who are ambitious, who are visionary, who are going to pour into you, and also other attendees who are there to network, connect, be expanded, be, poured into, and you get to participate as a live participant, ask questions, engage with our speakers. And every day we actually have a networking session as well as interactive panel with our speakers. So it's going to be an amazing, amazing event. So we hope to see you there. And for now, thanks so much for sharing your story. I really enjoyed talking to you today.
Me too, likewise. And we can't wait to hear from more people at the summit. So join us then.
Amazing. Great to see you. And thanks to all of you watching this today. If you have enjoyed it, do make sure you leave a comment below and share it with somebody. Great to have you all. And we'll see you again soon. Take care for now.
Bye.